Thank you, Raju, for the introduction. My name is Michael Nielsen, President Director of Jebsen Jessen Technology Indonesia. Selamat pagi dan selamat datang Bapak-bapak dan Ibu-ibu. And Jebsen Jessen, does it work here? There we go. Jebsen Jessen Southeast Asia has since its inception in 1963 worked on establishing a unique and an integrated presence in Southeast Asia, and our aim with that is to provide world-class solutions to our customers in all our business units and in all our business models, whether it's in manufacturing, distribution, or engineering. For more than 50 years, our group has been in the forefront of industrial innovation. And with close partnerships with technology partners from across the world, we have been enabled to become a partner of choice within our core businesses, which is in cable technology, industrial chemicals, cranes and lifting equipment, life sciences. We have a business unit focusing on offshore technology. We have a business unit focusing on protective packaging, and as well, last but not least, a business unit focusing on solutions within water technologies. Southeast Asia is our home. Our headquarter is in Singapore, and we have operations in all countries in Southeast Asia. We have 4,500 people in our organization across our 7 business units. We have 1.2 billion Singapore dollars in turnover generated, and we are operating in 76 locations across Southeast Asia, serving 20,000 customers through our 14 countries that we are operating in. Now, in Indonesia, we are more than 850 people who on a daily basis are serving our clients and customers in Indonesia. We have 23 branches, manufacturing, sales and services. And in fact, if you look in the bottom left corner, here you will actually see one of our iconic projects, which is a building maintenance unit installed at the B&I building just right next door to this location. And besides guaranteeing the building owners a great piece of equipment, you also actually have one of the best views in Jakarta if you dare to enter into the gondola. And our branches in Indonesia is strategically located across the Indonesian country. We are located all the way from Medan to Timika, serving customers who expect us to be close to them, be able to service their needs within a very short time. Now, innovation happens in three distinct ways in Jebsen Jessen. First is product innovation, where we focus on bringing in new technology to Indonesia or to the countries we operate in, or to adapt the technologies to the local needs, or to build completely new solutions based on technologies developed entirely in the local country. We also work on business process innovation, developing business models that make solutions more cost efficient for the client or to upgrade our value chain towards the customer. We also work on market innovation, entering new markets, develop new markets, new opportunities, and never to be afraid to adjust existing business models to cater for new markets that are occurring in the market. Now, investing in these types of innovation is the heart and soul of Jebsen Jessen and ensures also a very strong relationship with the customers in each country. Now, considering the various elements of infrastructure as we are talking about today, we will now highlight 4 different types of solutions which are either already or potentially could add value to the Indonesian infrastructure development and can also drive cost savings and savings in space, savings in time. And also not only in highly populated cities, but also equally important in rural areas across in the archipelago of Indonesia. So we will have a closer look of automated parking system, flood prevention, geofoam, and multi-purpose loaders. Now, automated parking systems is a very interesting product, in particular in urban areas, because lack of space is a major issue in urban areas. And for hotels, office buildings, or shopping malls, it's always a major challenge to provide ample space for vehicle parking. And optimizing parking space with the mechanized systems allows also the developer to save perhaps 1 to 2 floors of basement and thereby save a lot of cost in construction and in piling. And this saving actually very often exceeds the investment into a parking system. And during the last 10 years, Jebsen Jessen has in Malaysia, in Singapore, Thailand, and also in Vietnam supplied and installed mechanized parking systems to the benefit of building owners, to the developers, and to the owners of the vehicles as well. These parking systems are space efficient. They save cost in the long term. And they also help building owners optimizing their value by providing more parking lots in a limited space. Also, systems are available for both cars and for motorbikes, and can as well be tailored and re-engineered to suit the conditions at site. Now, parking systems can also take multiple shapes and forms. Depending on the customer's plans and needs, we have rotary parking towers, automated guided vehicle systems, as you saw in the video in the introduction, or even various types of motorbike parking systems, or solutions that are possible to integrate both in existing and in new project locations. And for us to be successful, close cooperation between all major stakeholders, suppliers, developers, building designers, architects, and as well as authorities is necessary for us, and we are currently pursuing such cooperation with all the relevant parties in Indonesia. Flooding is also an ongoing issue across the world, and Indonesia is obviously no exception. When flooding occurs, it's in everybody's interest that people first and foremost are protected, but also that high-value assets such as buildings, roads, and construction equipment is protected as well. And Jebsen Jessen is currently working with designers on offering flood barriers that can be installed on several hundreds of meters in less than 20 minutes. The idea is simple. You lay out an empty but very light barrier at the affected area where flooding will occur. You pump water into the barrier, and thereby you also create a barrier that stops flood from entering the protected area. And I think we have a video just to highlight this concept. Perhaps we can start the video. This is a conceptual video. So rain occurs, the barrier is laid out, water is pumped in, it's assembled very quickly, it comes in modules, so easy to install, pumps up, and water is not affecting the area that is protected. And this process is less than 20 minutes when installed. Okay, thank you. Now, like all flood prevention technologies, there is of course a limitation in height. But compared to sandbags, for instance, this solution, I'll just go one back. This solution is nevertheless much faster than sandbags and much faster to mobilize and can also be reused many, many times. Installations can as well both be permanent and temporary. And referring to protection of assets, we were then yesterday as well reminded of the importance of this through these pictures that we just got yesterday from Bandung, where both hospitals and train stations were flooded. And in some cases, these floodings can be prevented. So mobile flood barriers is an excellent alternative to sandbags and saves time, it saves cost and space, and it's attractive to industries, government authorities, construction contractors, as well as emergency response units. Construction geofoam. Expanded polystyrene geofoam, also named Eps Geofoam, is a technology that has actually been available for decades across the world, so it's actually not really a new innovation. But however, it has just recently been accepted in Southeast Asia and has been used in various construction projects across the region, such as landscaping, building construction, and even in landing strips in airports. It's a so-called engineered foam, and the key feature for Eps Geofoam is that it's a very light structure. It's in fact, the weight is only 1% of sand and earth. But it has a very strong compressive strength. It is mainly used in two applications. Number one, when a reduced weight of construction material will provide plenty of cost savings in a project, and also when there are tendencies of soil erosion due to soft soil. So basically, you can replace the soil with geofoam, and the soil erosion can then be prevented. and thereby also improve the quality and reduce maintenance in the lifetime of the installation. Now on this screen here, you will actually see 3 projects that we have done across Southeast Asia the last few years. On the left, you will see the Sky Park at the Marina Bay Sands and Hotels in Singapore. It has geofoam in the horizontal structure on top. And in fact, that reduces the weight on the overall structure and provides obviously cost savings. In the middle, you will see the landscape area at Garden by the Bay. It's built on reclaimed land. So there's a lot of soil erosion there as well, and a lot of fear of soil erosion. So they have installed the geofoam in the landscaping area down to 5 meters plus 5 meters on top, and put soil on top, so actually you cannot see the geofoam. So there you can actually use the geofoam as to shape landscaping as well. And at the right you will see expressway built in Malaysia. In Malaysia they have for years had a challenge in the road construction of the highways due to very soft soil. So geofoam has been used to replace the soft soil and thereby strengthening also the underlying structure. And the quality of the road will therefore remain unchanged throughout its lifetime. And Jebsen Jessen is currently in Indonesia in discussions with the government on having EPS geofoam approved as a certified construction material in Indonesia. Now, last but not least, equipment. And in many locations, not only in Indonesia, but across the world, we will see that there are traditions for using heavy equipment, very large heavy equipment, with the alternative being manual labor. Both has its advantages, but only when used in the right applications. Heavy equipment can damage the surface. It's heavy equipment, obviously, they're expensive to rent, difficult to mobilize. And they're usually also used and are too heavy for small jobs. Now, manual labor is suitable for most areas and creates employment, obviously. But there are also situations where use of manual labor is too dangerous, requires unnecessary supervision, is unstable or perhaps not available. And we have during the last 12 months in Indonesia, in fact, learned that there are possibilities and a wish for many markets to have products and equipment that is more mobile, more flexible, and more economical than the current options available. So now, this multi-purpose loader has one principle, in fact. It's a small machine, but it has many possibilities. And with one machine, you can have access to more than 100 different attachments for various work applications. And in fact, instead of a single-purpose machine with high operational cost, it is then now possible to work with multiple attachments, but only with 1 or 2 units. So this ensures mobility, flexibility, and is ultimately more economical, and in particular is well suited for areas in the rural areas of Indonesia, where it's also difficult to mobilize heavy equipment. So the choice of technology ultimately affects both the project execution and also affects the asset management of infrastructure projects. And one of the key parameters to deliver successful infrastructure projects is as well depending on the willingness of the developers to use equipment appropriate for the project in order to save cost, save time, and save space. And this willingness will have a significant impact on the project quality and execution of it. Secondly, a wide range of product and technologies carrying the opportunities for savings in time, cost, and money. In fact, they're already available either in Indonesia or even also across the Southeast Asian region, and among others is available within the product portfolio of Jebsen Jessen. And thirdly, the products that are available are already proven technologies from reference projects, both in the region and from across the world, and some even here in Indonesia. And they're offered by a solution and service provider like Jebsen Jessen, who has a very long history in Indonesia. And with this, I would like to also thank you all. I would like to thank you for your attention, and it's actually our honor also to offer our support and prove our commitment to the development of the Indonesian infrastructure going forward. So, thank you.